let's get straight into the second draft, which is Tomb of the Spider Queen, the map which was chosen, and let's bring this up for you now so you can all see it. Boom! Although that is not the right size. There we go. Tomb of the Spider Queen.
Spider Queen. So one thing we do often have here at Infinity eSports, at eSports Wall, is our finals tend to be 2-0s. And I'm really hoping it's not. I want to see Polando Boys come back and fight this one back. So what did they draft? They were on the blue side this time by the looks of it? Yeah, they were. So they first banned out that Zagara. Infinity Esports following with the Uther ban, not wanting Polando Boys to first pick it like they did. As we saw, that Uther was doing a lot of work. So Polando Boys would have first picked the Sonya. Sonya seeming to be a very contested pickup at the moment, and we've seen it banned, we've seen it first.
I feel it may be the other way around. I feel like Infinity, because they just from the way that the draft's gone, that it looks like they may have gone. No, we'll stick with that. We'll see.
It
yeah,
actually says first pick on the screen. You can see which team has first pick.
I can completely see that. I'm blind.
Blue team will always have first ban and have first pick.
Not always, so, no. Oh wait, yeah, no, because they swapped the colours round. Oh, here's draft. Why are you so confusing?
Blue team will always have first pick and first ban. So Sonya was picked up in response. The Muradin Reyna pickup there. So Infinity straight away daring Polando Boys to go for a multi-tank comp, as Reyna very able to shred them down, and taking away the Muradin as well. So if that was something Polando Boys were looking at, it wasn't really an option for them. Polando Boys in response taking the Tyrande and also locking the Hammer. It was really interesting to see a Hammer back. Hammer is seeing a lot of play at the moment on the ladder, often with a Morales, but not so much in Team League. So good to see a Hammer play. What do you think about that one?
I think it's very good, especially because they have that Tyrande already. Now Tyrande and Sonya are able to cover the Hammer okay, but it's mostly because the Tyrande means that it almost guarantees the double support lineup coming out from Polando Boys, and having two supports to be able to get that Hammer out of tight situations can really make or break it. And Sergeant Hammer, for those who don't know, can do a lot of damage at all stages in the game, really, but definitely as the game drags on a bit, can do so much damage.
Cool. So after the Hammer pickup, we saw an Arthas ban coming out of Infinity, a Jaina ban from Polando. Infinity would then have had their double pick where they picked up Leoric and Karazim. So at this point they've got two tanks, they've got a support, and they've got somebody who can shred tanks. It's looking really strong for them here. Polando Boys, however, pick up the Malfurion, needing a support.
So we have a bit of a mix up in the Heroes draft, because it is such a terrible resource. I'm kidding, it's not that terrible. But Sergeant Hammer is apparently Kel'Thas, as Macula in the chat has in fact told me.
Okay, so that was a Kael'thas, a bit more meta and a bit less surprising then. So a Kael'thas there, definitely a lot of AoE damage they're going to be bringing to the fight, and makes sense as to why they banned the Jaina out as well.
Yep. Infinity then going for Leoric Karazin.
So they've rounded themselves out quite nicely. Actually, I would say if they're up against the Kael'thas, they're not looking as strong as they would against the Hammer here. Karazim definitely going to be good for healing everybody up and whatnot. Also denying that Karazim from Polando Boys, who have already locked the Tyrande, so want a second support to back that up. Yeah, they do go for the Malfurion, which bring them the Tranquility if they want it, or the Emerald 3 Nightmare if they don't. But he's very strong with growth, so able to put those out. Yeah. Then the Stitches, so that would be the third time we would have seen Stitches during this tournament?
I believe so, yes. So, no, it's definitely the second time, maybe the third. I think it's...
Yeah, no, because we saw it played by Fire in the Hots and also against them.
Yes, we did. I think Infinity played it, in fact.
Yeah, so
three separate teams, all enjoying the Stitches changes.
And then a final Sylvanas lock for Infinity. I'm not too sure what they're thinking with the Sylvanas, but she does bring a lot of pressure for Merc camps and a lot of pressure in the lane, with that Black Arrow able to do work. So, interesting team comps from both sides, and both of them very, very strong here. Now,
because Stitches got nerfed well before Tomb of the Spider Queen was a map, what do you think how do you think Stitches is going to perform on such a map? I think that it's going to be similar in regards, similar in his kind of mechanics to Cursed Hollow. There's not quite as many places he can hook people from and to, but there are a decent amount of alleyways, which is why you see a lot more kind of gank-oriented lineups coming on, say the Butcher, Tyrael with Judgment lineups. All of those sorts of lineups, we see them much more often on Tomb of the Spider Queen, and that's because there's so many more places to gank from. So Stitches, I think, could be very good here.
You need to remember one of the most common strategies with Tomb of the Spider Queen is to run a 4-man sort of roaming squad between the top and the middle lanes, and Stitches means that if you know your opponents are doing that, you can take somebody away from that 4-man and just down them, and then you've got a 3-man group that you can engage onto.
Yeah, potentially, but with a 4-man group roaming, you know that they're always going to have backup close by, so it'd have to be a very well-positioned hook in combination with the body block. But that sort of skill, that sort of level of play, is almost certainly something we can and will see out of Polando Boys this game. So, getting into it now, let's get straight onto the replay. Going in, Tomb of the Spider Queen. This is game number 2 in the Grand Finals between Infinity eSports and Polando Boys. This is a best of 3 Grand Finals, and Infinity eSports did pick up game number 1.
Yeah, so Infinity eSports on 1-0 ahead. Tomb of the Spider Queen then. What can I tell you about this map? The Spider Goddess likes shiny, shiny gems. The ranged minions have been replaced, and instead there are mechanical spiders in their place. Kill the mechanical spiders to take the gems that power them. Turn them into the eggs, and she'll summon some web weavers to help you out, as web weavers will blast some magic damage, and also some little minions they spawn to help push the lane. So fantastic to get those on there. So game number 2. This time on the blue side we do have the Polando Boys. So Stefan, if you'd like to
I've already done it. I've swapped the teams over on the little widget. Okay, so Polando Boys, the blue team. We're going to have Kreese on that Tyrande, Inter again on his Kael'thas, Zrakawani, the team captain, picking up that Stitches, the unusual pick, but one that's been favoured this tournament, as has that Sonya, who will be played by Zadoon. Meanwhile, the final support is going to be played by Doctor on that Malfurion.
Over on the red side, we do have Infinity eSports currently 1-0 up, and there's going to be some action, so I'm not going to get a chance to introduce them as we do catch out the Stitches straight away. He falls very, very low. Kando chasing with that Drain Hope ticking away, but nobody going to fall.
Whew. Yeah, there's a lot of cover damage put out there by the Kael'thas and the Malfurion, even with his root, in order to keep Zrakawani safe. And wow, that pickup on the Leoric, that hook threading it through the needle there, landing just on the Leoric instead of hitting the creep wave, and he's going to get picked up by an immediate Tyrande Lunar Flare, and he's going to die.
40 seconds in, and Zrakawani already showing that he knows how to hook with this Stitches. A second hook onto Leoric. Leoric able to walk away.
He knew as soon as it hit him, he was spamming his Wraith Walk, like hitting E as quickly as he could.
Oh wow!
Now you've got to remember, Stitches and Tyrande is an old school, but now kind of refreshed strategy that we see coming back into the meta. The Stitches hooks. The Tyrande puts a Lunar Flare where that person's going to land and then amplifies the damage. That is one dead hero does that land. And had it been anybody but Leoric, they would have died. Maybe the Muradin could have Dwarf tossed himself away, but still. The Leoric probably would have even died to the dot damage of Living Bomb had he not been healed by the Karazin.
The Doctor getting caught out in the bot lane takes a bit of damage, but no kill going there either. So it is a bloodthirsty game already here. Polando Boys wanting to fight back, and obviously, they're making that Stitches work for them. They are doing this rotation, and a nice hook once again. He's going to catch out Reyna. Reyna's going to fall straight away.
Now, something interesting to note, Kreese is putting those Lunar Flares down a split second too early, so whilst you are being hooked, you are in fact unstoppable, kind of ironically. So the Lunar Flare, it still did the damage, but it didn't put the stun on the Reyna. So if you might have seen him being able to move away ever so slightly, but he was picked up by Inter's Gravity Lapse immediately to follow. So lots and lots of stuns, all stacked on top of each other, all to guarantee those sorts of kills.
while you were talking there, Zrakawani did land a hook. He is 4 for 4 on these hooks, and as I say that, he misses one. So 4 for 5, not too bad hit rate there though.
Yeah, and as you said earlier, we've got this 4-man roaming kind of defense squad or aggressive squad, as this is being this game, going around and just taking kills.
Boys, but Infinity aren't really able to follow the 4-man squad, because each time they try to swap between, Zrakawani is throwing a hook and catching somebody and pulling them in. So Infinity just splitting instead and defending at their gates. That's going to run their gates low on ammo, and eventually those minions will start dealing some damage there.
Yeah, now, just to mention, because of the split, the experience advantage is only slight towards Polando Boys here. In fact, Zadoon getting caught out a little bit, taking a lot of damage, but not going to fall. Yeah, the experience advantage is only slightly in favour of Polando Boys, and that despite the 2 kills going in their favour.
Yeah, so I think they pushed Doctor out of the bot lane a couple of times, so they were able to make up the experience deficit there. Drain Hope Kanda just ticking away on Zadoon. Zadoon's going to have to eventually back to the fountain and go have a drink, but no, decided to stick and heal up. Dwarf Toss by Kren to keep himself safe after dungeon.
Yeah, I think at this point now, Infinity Esports are used to the combo. It caught them out a couple times, in fact 3 times, although only 2 kills were made, and now if they hook the Muradin and the Lyric, they're able to get out, and even potentially the Karazin if he can dashing strike quickly enough.
Yeah, they just need to be wary of that smoke, and I think they're aware of that now, so just playing on the right side of their minions. We're going to have the Web Weavers coming down for Polando Boys though. So we'll see what they can do with these, and the big fight's going to start out on the mid. Kren keeping safe, Kanda just ticking that Doom. Muradin's going to go back in, landing a Doom on Zrakawani, then he's going to back off a bit. So just trading some damage at the moment, not really wanting to commit fully.
Yeah, I mean, another hook landing on the Muradin, he immediately dwarf tossed himself out, so it's almost like the combo's wasted if it does hit the Leoric or the Muradin. So they're really looking to try and, especially into the mid to late game, get those hooks on the Sylvanas and the Reyna. And even the Karazin to a large degree.
Infinity here opting to split and to deal with each of the Web Weavers in lane. Polando Boys are going to group up in that bot and help push with that bottom, but this is going to put them potentially a little bit behind on experience as 3-lane soak to 2-lane soak at the moment. Web Weaver's going down and nothing really falling, just a few gates and towers with them. So a nice catch there. Muradin does fall as they pulled him over that little jut in the middle there by the smoke.
Yeah, now what Muradin did there, did wrong there compared to what he did right all the other times he's been hooked, was he went for the Stormbolt stun, got hit by the Trond Arrow, then got hit by the Gravity Lapse and was dead before he could Dwarf Toss himself away. In fact, I think he died mid-Dwarf Toss to the Living Bomb damage.
Relatively quiet game in comparison to the last one.
Quiet? There's been some crazy hook combos coming out. It's been very action-packed at the start, but yeah, it's getting quiet at this point. Oh, the Sylvanas going to get hooked there by Zrakawani, and that's going to be possibly her death. It is the Chaos Living Bomb just able to finish her.
A lot of gems falling to the ground there as well, but Shivatus is there to pick them up and bring himself back, because that would have been quite a loss there. They've got their Web Weavers pushing on at the moment. Someone in every lane to deal with them, though.
Yeah, Zadoon struggling a little bit versus the Muradin, and Turan struggling a tiny bit versus the Lyric, although she is able to harass him back away. Level 10 coming out here for Polando Boys very, very soon. They clean up these Web Weavers and one more and a couple more creeps, and that will be level 10 for them. Here we go. See what.
Infinity won't be far behind though, and if they can just hold out without a fight going down, they'll have those heroics themselves. So we'll
unfortunately, we're going to get Tranquility instead of Twilight Dreamers. I'd love to see from the Malfurion, but no, some kind of more standard safer plays. Yeah, Leoric actually getting caught out quite a lot there, but he didn't Wraithwalk immediately. He instead took the Malfurion route and the Tyrande stun. They weren't able to burst him down quick enough, so maybe not the amplified damage going down, but Kreese on that Tyrande, going to get caught out by the Entomb, and she's going to fall hugely. The Shadowstalk not able to save her, and that's actually going to be the first kill for the side of Polando Boys. Muradin going to get caught by the Stitches there before he's able to hand in his gems, and Lyric just being that big bad tank up in front, life stealing and kind of doing what he wants.
So good plays there from both sides, but it is Infinity who come out ahead in that fight. My UI bugged for a second, and instead of Wailing Arrow, it locked possession, so I got excited, but it did flick back over a millisecond later. So I thought we were going to have a possession Sylvanas for a second. I wondered what they were going to do with it.
That would have been intense, I have to say. That would have been very, very crazy to see.
Okay, so where are we at? It is 11 to 11. 4 kills to the Polando Boys, 1 kill to Infinity eSports. Both have had the Web Weavers and both have enough gems to hand in for the next one. But Zakarani's going to get them first. Oh, no, that's not quite enough. Are we going to see enough from Infinity? But they're getting poked off. A nice hook there onto Kren, but and Tombs try and catch them out, but not actually get.
Yeah, if that Tomb had landed, I think he got a bit greedy there. He could have gone for 2 up top or 2 up bottom, and instead tried to go for the Tyrande and the Karazim. And the Kael'thas right in the middle, and didn't quite land on anyone. So whiffed ultimate. This is going to give an opening to Polando Boys as they're going to siege forwards. They've got the Putrid Bar going to come out from the Stitches here, as well as a fantastic hook on the Muradin. He's going to get Stasis Divine Palm by the Karazim. That's going to keep him alive. He pops his avatar form. Now we're going to have the Putrid Bar finally coming out from him. He was saving it. I believe he actually cancelled it. It was cancelled by a stun midway through its kind of small half-second cast. And there's going to be another great hook from Zakarani landing on the Muradin. He wasn't able to survive that, as the team coordination was there to get the Tyrande stun immediately following that hook.
The Shadowstalk was down, so not able to see the Stitches or the Sonya there, and then just both able to pop both their hooks and catch the Muradin. So not needing the Lunar Flare when there's an Ancient Spear stuck in your chest.
Yeah, not quite. And Tyrande, with the Shadowstalk ulti, has done a
nice catch there. It's just Karazim falling to another Zarakawani hook. While those fights were going on, the Web Weavers were up and were able to wail on the top and the bottom. So the bottom one going to take the keep down, the fort down there, and the top going to be able to push on. And Polando Boys are likely to pick up the second fort as well. No, they're going to back off instead, as Kren and Kandar are there to stop anything from happening.
Yeah, very well played so far by Polando Boys. Really bringing it back in this game. Number 2, it's still anyone's game, but they're definitely sitting at an advantage with a almost full level lead, as well as definitely a push advantage, having taken down 2 forts. So at the moment, the gems, we've got 50 over on Infinity eSports side, ready to be handed in and activate those Web Weavers. But only 3 for Polando Boys. They did obviously just have that Web Weaver. So a good Web Weaver fight could be coming out. And there's a fight going on over the sieges here. Giovanta's falling low. A big Tranquility coming out there to try and keep up the guys from Polando Boys. Kandar and Kren fighting with Zakarani and Doctor. And Kandar is going to fall. Kren's going to fall shortly after. Not happened. Not sure what happened there. Yeah, Doctor barely able to stay alive. In fact, the Muradin dies, but the hard camp does end up going to Infinity eSports. Chevitas on that Karazim, getting overextending a huge amount there. Going to get picked up by Doctor's amazing roots, as he always does. Such fantastic roots for the map here, and especially having the increased range cast on that with Elun's Grace taken at level 4.
Thank you for picking that up for me. I got completely confused by the Avatar smash.
Yeah, that was a lot happening in that fight. I had my camera over it from the start, so I was happily watching that out. And Kreese on that Tyrande actually going to get picked up in top lane. I don't think she's going to get away from this. Lorraine just does too much right click damage. She is going to end up falling. So Doom coming in, but he's going to run away as soon as he realises that fight is not going to happen. Polando Boys aren't going to group back together. Looks like they're going to go push that mid out, and they're going to try and stop Infinity handing these 54 gems in, I think. Yeah, all the gems for Infinity are actually on the Reyna and the Leoric at this point, although Sylvanas has just picked up 9. from that big creep wave that was down in bottom.
Drakowani, I mean, he is stacking that hungry for more right now, and he's just getting bigger and bigger. A nice hook down onto Macula. Phoenix going to come down into the back lane and forcing Macula way out of that fight. Meanwhile, the rest of Infinity Esports are going to cover for him and go into that fight. Falling low though and backing out. No one's going to fall. And,
I want to just point out how amazing Macula's play was there. He was almost dead, and just as he came out of the stuns, what did he do? He threw out his haunting wave, immediately turned around and put down the wailing arrow, and detonated it, landing on all 5 of Polando Boys, and then got out with his haunting wave without dying. So crazy good micro skills happening there. And in fact, Leoric going to come down, going to have the stasis land on him, really good in Tomb, locking down the Kael'thas and the Stitches. Kael'thas is going to die as a result of this. The hook landed on the Leoric initially to set that up, which is why he went dropped down so low, but not able to follow up with a kill, and he's now on full health.
Yeah, and the Web Weavers are up here for Infinity Esports, so the Black Arrow is going to stop any of these forts and towers that they choose to siege up from firing, meaning those Web Weavers can do a lot more work than they normally would because they've got nothing taking their health away. So they're going to pick up the top fort, they're going to rotate to mid, take that, and potentially then drop to bottom. And
well, you say nothing. Their health does drain over time. It does deteriorate, so they can't stay up forever because it is a 3-lane push.
No,
but
that's
yeah,
true.
There is no fort and towers damaging.
Yeah. So they're going to stay up a lot longer. They're going to have a full duration rather than lose health due to being beaten on by forts and towers. So they do pick up 3 forts there for Infinity, which pulls them back
to about a half-level experience from being about a full level behind, and they still have their fort up in top lane sitting there alive. So a comeback here from Infinity. Almost. They weren't out of the game, so it's not really a full comeback, but it's still, they're showing signs of not life, but of a revitalised team now that they've hit these later levels.
And a hand-in race there, but Polando Boys did start channeling just before, so we're able to get those Web Weavers up before Infinity can get their hand in off. Hook attempt there by
that fishing hook, I swear, should have hit somebody, but alas, Rockaway not gonna have that happen for him.
So we are seeing fishing hook picked up a lot more by Stitches. I think we've seen it in all 3 games now. That extra 40% range, able to catch you unawares.
Hook is the reason you take Stitches. Making hook better is really good. I mean, getting it to hook 2 targets and things like that, not necessary. The extra range on fishing hook, especially compared to his other level 16 talents, it's almost a no-brainer. Fishing hook will just do so much for Stitches.
He's no slouch for health, though. I mean, he's rocking 6,000 health with that extra hunger for more. I mean, Muradin and Leoric only have 5,000 each, so a big health pool that you're going to have to chew through as well. So, yes, you're taking Hook, but he's also coming with a big body behind it. So Hyperion was popped down there in the bottom lane to push that gate and those towers. So that's not going to be available if the fight does break out here in the mid. But the Reyna's going to fall anyway. I think that was a hook from Zakawani that caught him.
Yeah, probably. I missed it too. I was watching the Web Weaver up in top. And interestingly that Infinity decided to push when they were against Web Weavers. And they took the entire wall defending the bottom keep. So quite smart play, I think, from them actually. It worked out pretty okay.
So the Web Weaver and that catch has opened up the gates for them. They're going to push onto this mid-keep. Kren is going to come in and he's going to try and stop them. The big Entomb coming out from Kandor, but Zadoon's just able to walk away as no one's going to follow that Entomb up.
Yeah, Drakawani had a really well-timed Putrid Bile there, meaning that if any engagement was to happen, the Stitches would have just put on so much extra damage. And we can see he's done a second most damage on his team to the Kael'thas.
Kael'thas just dropping those bombs with his ability to then spread it onto the minion wave so they can keep that damage ticking away and keep pushing on there. So Zadoon falling low though, he's getting caught here.
He popped his stone skin in order to stay alive, and Tranquility as well as the Shadow Stalk. He's able to keep him alive, and I think that's going to be a pretty successful disengage at the moment. Drakawani falling pretty low now though. But in fact the counter damage coming out from the Kael'thas chain bomb landing on the entire team of Infinity Esports, and Zadoon going back in, falling low again, but as was the Leoric, the stasis didn't pop, and wow, a huge hook onto the Sylvanas, and she's going to get picked up, so finally a kill happening, but both teams pretty low from the engagement. In fact, Infinity a lot higher up, but Polando Boys getting a really good disengage and following it up with a kill. And I would like to say that I'm going to bring up the healing stat here again for you to see. Just before that fight, the Tyrande was, I think, 2,000 behind the Malfurion, maybe 3,000. She's now dropped down to 6,000 as that Tranquility was very, very well done, well positioned by Doctor on that Malfurion. But still, the Tyrande healing has been exceptional all game long, and just showing what a strong secondary support she is, even by simply taking one healing talent, which is the ultimate.
So the boss has been started for the Polando Boys here, while the red Web Weavers have come down, so Infinity eSports will have those Web Weavers pushing on their side. Boss going on top, and it does look as though Polando Boys are going to follow through with it. Ignites Gravity Lapse, catches Kandar, and they're able to take him out of this fight. They're now going to leave the Web Weaver to go about it to push, because they've got a boss, and the boss is going to push harder.
Yeah. I think they're just going to push with this boss, take the keep, and back out. And if they don't back out, then that means they're committed and they're going for the core for this game. Polando Boys potentially wanting to end this game out with this boss push, and if they do, I wouldn't be surprised at all.
One thing we have seen from Polando Boys in the past is their explosive core shots, and they catch Savatas out. He's going to fall, but the Divine Palm is propped there, so he's not going to die. Crone coming in with the Avatar. He's going to try and do what he can. There's a Hyperion flying over the top, and a Contomb coming down, catching out Kael'thas, but he's not falling very quickly. He's been kept alive there, and in response, Kren is falling lower and lower. Dwarf tossing himself out, but getting hooked back in. Muradin is going to fall. Meanwhile, the boss has taken the shields here for the core. It's 5-man to 4-man. We're going to see Polando Boys push onto the core. How much damage can they put down before they are stopped by Infinity eSports?
And GG's called out here for Infinity, and I think that, Polando losing Sonya and Tyrande in the end, but this will be game number 2 going to Polando Boys. So we're going to get the third game decider for this best of 3 grand finals.
We have a series.
Update to the score so you can all see. This is exciting. I don't know I don't know what to call. I don't know who's going to win this.
Both teams playing very, very well.
Yeah.
And
Infinity eSports didn't dominate last game, but was stronger throughout. Polando Boys stronger at the beginning, started to waver towards the mid game, but definitely pulled it through in the end. And I think it could have gone either way, but the Leoric pick off and then the just the hooks from Zerkaweni really sealed that game for them. And
Zerkaweni was doing some work there, but having a look at the minimap just at the end of the game, there was a Web Weaver on the core and a Web Weaver pushing on mid still. If they hadn't won the fight there, if they'd been able to rally and take down all 5 members of Polando Boys before they dropped that core, we could have seen Infinity eSports win that with the Web Weavers having pushed onto the core. Yeah,
definitely. And that would have been... all it required was a bit of a bad engagement out from Polando Boys, and Infinity could have held on, could have had a defence, and then immediately gone to the core and pushed with those Web Weavers. And even if they didn't win the game there, would have been very even. They would have at least taken the middle keep as well. So